First things first, we're starting with skin prep, the most important step in any makeup routine. I always tap my products in for better absorption, though depending on the formula, some can be gently rubbed in. The key is to ensure your skin is hydrated and prepped for a flawless base. As you can see, my skin is fresh, clean, and ready for makeup. Next, I'm going with my e.l.f. Power Grip Hydro Primer. This is my absolute go-to for locking in my makeup and ensuring it lasts all day. Since I'm aiming for a soft, glam, dewy finish, this primer is perfect because it keeps the skin hydrated while creating a smooth, grippy base. I just gently tap the product into my face to make sure it's fully absorbed. Now I'm going in with my HAUS Lab Skin Tech Foundation in the shade 480 Medium Deep Neutral. This is a water-based foundation with a touch of silicone, which makes it the best of both worlds. It gives that natural, dewy finish while also providing a smooth, long-lasting wear. As you can see, I'm patting it in and it just melts into my skin so beautifully. Like, it is so tea. Like, it is so good. And if you haven't tried this foundation yet, I highly recommend it, especially for the summer. It's lightweight, super breathable, and it doesn't feel heavy on my skin at all. I focus on blending in circular motions, really pressing the product into my skin for a seamless, flawless finish. Also, when applying foundation, I always prefer to pat the product into my skin rather than rub it in. Patting just helps maintain coverage and ensures even application and just prevents streaks, giving a more flawless airbrushed finish. Rubbing can sometimes move the product around too much and just make it patchy. I also just add a little extra coverage where needed just to make sure everything looks even and perfected. And of course, I always blend down to my neck just to keep everything looking natural and cohesive. And then you could also use the beauty blender for application, but I just personally love to use this brush that I'm using right here. It's the Real Techniques Expert Edge Foundation Brush. Now, it just gives me the perfect blend when it comes to just making sure that all of my foundation coverage is intact. And the shape of the brush is what really makes it easier to get everything in the contour of the face really set and good. Either way, the key is to press the product in for that seamless finish, girl. And as you can see, it is tea and it looks so good. Next is the eyebrows. This is honestly my favorite part. I'm going in with my Precisely My Brow pencil by Benefit. I start by brushing my brows up to get them into like the shape that I want before filling them in, and I use the shade 6, which is a deep brown that just complements my brows perfectly. I try to shape them as evenly as possible, but let's be real, y'all, like sometimes they're not sisters, sometimes they're cousins, occasionally very much distant relatives, but regardless, the face is gonna eat every time. Okay, so next, I'm just blending out the inner corners just to create that soft ombre effect, giving my brows a more natural gradient look. And this step is key to avoiding a harsh, blocky brow because we don't like that. We don't like no harsh, scary, blocky brows. That's a no. That's a no bueno. So now onto the shaping. Arguably one of the most important parts because as you all know, brows can really make or break the look in my opinion. I'm using the Fenty Beauty Concealer in the shade 410W, which is also a water-based formula that just blends so good. It just blends like a dream, y'all. And I just apply it under my brows just to clean up and define the shape, dragging it slightly onto my eyelid for a smooth transition. When applying concealer under the brows, precision is key. I like to use the smudge angled brush because it gives me the most control and it allows me to create a clean, sharp shape instead of just dragging the concealer across in one stroke. I just work in small, precise motions following the natural arc of my brow. One thing I always do is blend immediately. I don't like to let my concealer sit too long because I want to avoid excessive smudging when blending. By blending right away, I just keep everything neat while still getting that bright lifted effect under the brow. I use gentle patting motions with my brush to diffuse the concealer smoothly into my skin. I also make sure to drag it a little bit down onto my eyelid so I could get a seamless transition. This is completely optional, y'all. Completely optional. But to add an extra pop, I do a little something different. I just apply a significantly lighter concealer, LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Porcelin to be exact, just at the tail end of my brows. Like, this brightens the area, sharpens, and just makes the edges look very, very snatched. I know it might look a little weird at first, but trust me, once everything is blended in, it all comes together perfectly. Okay, y'all, I promise we are almost at the finish line. Next up, we got our contour. I'm using the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer by Too Faced in the shade Chai. When I tell you, this concealer is so good, very full coverage, yet still lightweight. It's perfect for concealing, contouring, highlighting, and even retouching. I only started using it recently, but it has definitely become a go-to for me. Now, to go on to my next step, which is my contour, to just have it up a notch, I'm going to use my Fenty Beauty Matchstick in the shade Espresso. This helps me add extra dimension and structure to my face so everything isn't too bright and flat. The skin is already giving natural, but this step just enhances the depth and definition for a flawless finish. And I just use this product around the perimeter of my face, especially on my top area. Yep, you see me pulling my wig band back. Definitely had to make sure I got in there. Next, I'm going to go with my setting spray because we need to set it and make sure it's all set in place. And I make sure I leave this on for 5 minutes total. You don't want to blend anything too soon because you want the makeup and the concealer to really set. I feel like this is also the time where you have the longest break when it comes to doing your makeup. Everything else is just okay. Makeup, concealer, go, brows next, and all stuff. Everything is like on the go, but this is your break time. Next, we're gonna go and we're gonna blend. This is the most important part of your makeup. You want to make sure that you are blending everything in. Of course, like I said, you're doing those pat motions. I'm blending in the concealer with the butt end of the beauty blender, and I'm making sure that for the angled pointy top, I'm going in with the lighter concealer, and of course the end with the darker around the corner edges of my face. Blending your contour is ultimately essential for just giving that natural sculpted look. It softens the harsh lines and creates a really nice transition between the light and the shadow of your makeup, and just makes it all look very nice and polished. I also make sure that the beauty blender is slightly damp. Okay, y'all, now we're moving on to brightening, and I'm reaching for my Born This Way Sculpting Concealer again by Too Faced in the shade Maple. This shade is a touch lighter than my contouring shade, and it's perfect for lifting and illuminating the areas I want to brighten on my face. Okay, so before blending in the brightening concealer, I just add a pop of color with my blush. I'm using the Ruby Kisses Duo Cream Blush in the colors Pearlgasm. I just dabbed it right onto my cheeks just to achieve that perfect pink glow. When you're going for a dewy skin look, cream blush is essential for just that soft glam finish. I even smile when just applying it to naturally lift my cheeks, and I blend it upwards towards my eyelid just so it could give like a seamless glow. Just look at how pretty it looks, y'all. And I just use my fingers. I don't really use anything else for it, just my fingers. Next, I'm blending that brighter concealer again. I gently just worked it upward around my nose and under my eyes. Just be careful, y'all, not to overblend, just so you can just have that very nice luminous effect that just stays intact. This pairs beautifully with a cream blush, just creating that nice radiant finish that brightens the entire face. And ultimately, this is what it looks like when it's perfectly brightened and blended. Next up is baking. Even though we're aiming for that gorgeous dewy finish, I just don't want my face looking like it's overly bright or just too oily. I lightly bake just for a short amount of time to control any unwanted shine that I have in targeting areas like under my eyes or my chin, the corners of my face, and even the top of my forehead. I just use a gentle circular patting motion just to set my makeup in place while still keeping that fresh glow for that final dewy skin look. Next, I use my Sephora Micro Smooth Powder in the shade Toffee just as my eyeshadow, just to control the shine and avoid the excess oil and keep it all in check. Now I'm going in with my Ruby's Kisses Invisible Setting Powder. Using my Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush, I just lightly pat some powder onto the brush, blow off the excess, and just gently dab it over my eyelids and eyebrows and just under my chin and also under my eyes. This step keeps any shine in check and just ensures that everything stays beautiful and in place. I'm telling you, y'all, this has been the game changer when it came to also keeping my makeup stay in line and also making sure that I don't have those fine lines and wrinkles showing. When I tell y'all, like, they saved the best for last. Now the lip combo is one of my absolute favorite steps. I swear they really save the best for last when it comes to doing your lips last in the makeup steps, I promise. So I'm gonna be starting off with my Ruby Kisses lip pencil in the shade Chocolate, lining my lips for that perfect definition. I really do take my time with this because I want to get that nice shaping all around my lips, so I go over and over and over with that. And then after I'm done with that layer, I just go over it again. Next, I take my same LA Girl Pro Concealer I use for my brows and apply it to the center of my lips, blending it with my Real Techniques Lip Smudge for a seamless good fade. Now, I continue to add just as much smudge as I can. Like, I start little and then I just gradually add more as the time goes by, just if needed, of course. And then just for me to add a soft flush of pink, I dab onto my Duo Cream Blush before layering the NYX Professional Makeup Lip Gloss in with Creme Brulee color. But we're not done yet. I just deepen the outer ledges of my lips with a black liner from Absolute Perfect Pair Duo for extra dimension. And I'm telling you, this really just does it for me. Like, you know, just making sure you define your lips a lot more. Then I finish with my All Bring It Together lip gloss by Ruby's Kisses Lip Oil Intense Treatment Gloss. And when I tell you this is chef's kiss, I love this lip gloss so much. Just look at how good my lips look. Just look, just take it all in. Mwah, mwah. You love it. You love it. You know you do. Gosh, I'm so obsessed. And here it is, the final look. Of course, I had to take the pin curls out because the hair and the makeup have to complement each other. And just a little sneak peek, I have a hair tutorial for this look coming real soon, so don't worry, it's dropping soon next week. But overall, I was definitely feeling myself in this look. I had to snap a quick selfie because when the hair is on point, the makeup's on point, and everything was just coming together. And just look at how it came out so good in natural lighting, the perfect soft glam dewy finish. I'll be doing more beauty content covering skin, hair, and makeup, so stay tuned for that. But until next time, bye y'all.